So, are you a big fan of Godzilla and Neon Genesis Evangelion? Then this game might just interest you. Hey everyone, it's Anthony from TBN here, and for today's video, I'll help answer the question, should you play Override 2 Super Mech League? In Override 2, you'll enter a series of mech pilot tournaments and one-off arena matches to become the best fighter possible, whilst also destroying entire cities and towns in the process, but don't even worry about that. It's a rather straightforward affair with only a handful of modes on offer that all essentially involve the same thing: smacking your opponents senseless. The combat in this title is excellent though, and feels really intuitive to control. I was very impressed with just how easy it was to pick up and play, and have a grand old time with it. You can punch, kick, shoot, throw, jump, and dash around like other fighting games, and each fighter has their own set of special moves unique to them. While there are about 20 or so characters on the roster, each special moveset is structured similarly in terms of attack types. Think of Super Smash Bros., where the 5 B button attacks help differentiate the vast roster of characters. Except in this case, pressing the left shoulder buttons will normally be a rush type assault, whereas the left and right bumpers will shoot a projectile-based attack, though they will contain different properties depending on your mech of choice. For example, the mech called Sprinkles, yes, there's a mech called Sprinkles, don't judge, has a projectile move which traps an opponent in a bubble for a few seconds. So once they start bouncing around the map, they're completely vulnerable to damage. And you can even combo them for a short while if, and only if, your precision is on point. Just like Super Smash Bros., you can also pick up and throw objects at your opponents and use various weapons placed around the battlefield, like missile launchers, hammers, and swords. But most importantly, the frying pan. And when you land a powerful attack, it has the most satisfying pan vibration sound ever. I love stuff like this. There's even a final smash equivalent where you can stand in one of the yellow circles that appears and charge your ultimate attack for devastating damage. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and press all on the bell notifications. The more subscriptions we get from viewers like yourself, the more we can grow, and the more content we can deliver straight to your YouTube homepage. Thanks for your support. The roster is decently well balanced, though from my standpoint, I found that some mechs stood head and shoulders above the rest. Ultraman, but it's still early days. I'm very curious what the tier list will look like in 2021. Now, in regards to game modes, the tournaments and arena battles are where it's at, so most of your fighting will either be in leagues, quick play, or versus. All these modes are available to play online, or you can simply face off against the CPU bots, though they're all essentially mech brawls at the end of the day. Leagues allows you to gain money for purchasing new mechs and avatars, as well as being the place to rank up and challenge tougher fighters. You'll also receive sponsors along the way that'll give you monetary rewards for completing a certain task on a timer, like use 5 ultimates in 30 minutes, or grab an opponent 50 times in 1 hour. Doesn't that sound like fun to you? Not really. In leagues, there's a classic 1v1, 2v2, or 4-player all-out brawl, alongside some extra variations like Control, where your health will deplete if you stay outside the circular perimeter, or Xenoswarm, where a pack of weaker mechs will try and take you down in sheer numbers. No, not Xenoblade, that's another game. The formula does just enough to stay fresh, and the stages themselves have some awesome eye-catching visuals and set pieces, though some extra modifiers or different types of gameplay would have helped set this game further apart. One thing that doesn't stay as fresh, however, is the mech agent, Zoe. She basically acts as your guide for the ins and outs of the leagues, but she just won't stop talking in between matches. It gets annoying, fast. They even gave her a backstory relating to certain aspects of Override 2's lore, if you can call it that. But even though her voice actor does a great job at portraying the character, having a fleshed out story just feels so out of place for an ultra arcade style game like this. So, should you play Override 2 Super Mech League? Well, it's definitely got my nod of approval. If you like games similar to ARMS, the Nintendo Switch exclusive, then even more so. Though Override 2 is one of those games that's just pure fun to pick up and play for a few hours. The fighting is tight and responsive, the mechs are varied and stylish, and the music itself slots in really, really well. It's perfect for your daily dose of Super Mech destruction. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, click that like button down below. And as always, if you haven't yet done so, press subscribe and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. For more on Override 2, visit thebetanetwork.net to read our written review and check out our podcast called Games We Played That for some silly antics from the TBN team. See you guys in the next video.